Hare Krishna, everyone. Namaste. My name is Lochandas. Some of you may have seen me before on school videos or when I used to visit the school to talk about Hinduism. I'm a Vaishnav Hindu, and this mark on my forehead shows that I'm a Vaishnav Hindu, a servant of God. And this describes a particular type of Hinduism and shows to other Hindus what school I belong to, and that's called the Vaishnav Hindu school. And this set of beads called Tulsi beads, they show that I've become a student of Hinduism. This time I've been asked to talk about Hindu festivals. Hindu festivals are very important. It often involves a lot of fun and colour and light and special foods. But this time of year in the autumn is a particularly important month, especially for Vaishnav Hindus. It's the holy month of Kartik. And within the holy month of Kartik is 5 special days which amount to the festival known as Diwali. Diwali is the most famous Hindu festival. Some of you may have heard of it. Also known as the Festival of Light. As I've mentioned before, there are different branches or types of Hinduism. The 3 main types or branches are called Vaishnavas, those who worship God in the form of Vishnu; Shivites, those who worship God in the form of Shiva; and Tantrics, those who worship God in God's feminine or female form. Hindus believe God is still one, but according to the different traditions, they approach God in a slightly different way. It's quite difficult to understand, but not only is there one God, but there are also many, many demigods or devas that have particular responsibilities in the universe and undertake God's instructions. Vishnu also comes in different forms, especially when he comes down to earth to undertake what's called his pastimes. The main pastime associated with Diwali, the festival of light, is called the Ramayana, or the story of the great king Lord Rama.
Long ago, there was a great warrior prince called Rama, who was married to a beautiful and strong woman called Princess Sita. There was a terrible demon king who lived nearby called Ravana. He had 20 arms and 10 heads, and everyone was frightened of him. He wanted to make Sita his wife. So Ravana tricked Sita by appearing as a wounded deer. Sita asked her husband Rama to come and help the deer, but the deer disappeared into the forest. Seeing how worried Sita was about the poorly animal, Rama decided to go and find the deer, not realising it was actually the evil Ravana. But Rama was worried about leaving Sita alone in the forest, so he drew a magic circle around her to keep her safe. As Rama was looking for the wounded deer, the evil demon Ravana changed shape again. He turned from the deer into a thirsty beggar. He tempted Sita out of the magic circle by begging for water. Sita, being so kind, stepped out of the magic circle, away from safety. Ravana kidnapped her and carried her away in his mighty flying chariot. Meanwhile, unable to find the deer, Rama returned to the magic circle only to find that his wife Sita had been kidnapped. So he set off to rescue her. He travelled through a forest where he met the Monkey King, Hanuman. Hanuman and Rama became great friends, and Hanuman agreed to help Rama find Sita. Hanuman searched for Sita over many days and nights. He travelled across oceans and over mountains. Eventually, Hanuman found Sita in Ravana's prison on the island of Lanka. Hanuman took the news of his discovery back to Rama, and they gathered a huge monkey army to go to Sita's rescue. But how could they all travel across the water to the island together? Hanuman had a great idea. Once the bridge was finished, Rama, Hanuman, and all the other animals rushed across to fight the evil demon Ravana. There was a great battle, One of the greatest battles ever seen that lasted for 10 days. It looked as though Ravana was going to win until Rama saw the perfect chance to use a magic arrow he'd been given by the gods. He shot the evil demon Ravana with the magic arrow and killed him. The demon king Ravana was beaten, the battle was won, and Rama and Sita were finally reunited. They started the journey home. As night fell, all of the people who lived in the kingdom put out little oil lamps in their windows to help guide Rama and Sita back home. It seemed as though there were more lamps than there were stars in the sky. Rama and Sita arrived home and everyone celebrated that they were safe.
So the main message of Diwali is light conquering darkness, good conquering evil. The great King Rama is worshipped because of his heroic qualities, his sense of duty, the sense of right and wrong, of always telling the truth and be honourable to friends and family. This aspect of God is very attractive to Hindus, and hence Rama, this form of Vishnu, God, is very popular in India. And on Diwali, you'll see temples and homes are filled with these lamps, these lighted candles, lighting the way of Lord Rama, God, back to his home in our hearts, inviting God back into our hearts. Another form of God worshipped during the celebrations of Diwali is Krishna. Krishna is regarded as the most sweetest form of God. He comes in this form of a cowherd boy. He's famous for playing his flute and charming the gopis and gopas, the cowherd men and ladies in the forests of Vrindavan. And to this day, Vrindavan is regarded as a holy place, and you can still visit it in India. So during the week of Diwali, another festival which involves Krishna is performed in temples and many Hindus' homes. It's called Govardhan Puja. Govardhan is a sacred hill in Vrindavan, and according to the story in the Puranas, Krishna, to protect his devotees, he lifted the hill and provided shelter from a huge storm. And I'll share with you the story from the Puranas, and I hope you like it. Krishna and Balaram watched the cowherd men preparing a ceremony. Krishna asked his father, "My dear father, what is this all about?" His father, Nanda Maharaj, said, "My dear boy, our family does this every year. Because we need so much water, we must show thanks to Lord Indra, the god of rain, for sending us the clouds to pour down enough rain for us to grow our vegetables." Krishna asked his father, "Father, please stop this ceremony. There is no need for this. Please begin a special ceremony to worship the local monks and Govardhan Hill, and let us have nothing to do with this demigod Indra. Make very special food like dal, halava, puris, sweet rice, laddus, and ask the Brahmins, the monks, to chant Vedic songs and offer grains into the sacrificial fire. Then decorate all the cows and feed them well. Give money and grains in charity and feed every man and woman and animal with nice food. After feeding grass to the cows, the ceremony shall be called Govardhan Puja. This ceremony will make me very happy," said Krishna. And so Nanda Maharaj called the monks and began worshipping Govardhan Hill by chanting and offering very special food. Everyone in Vrindavan came with their decorated cows. After feeding them, they kept the cows in front and went around Govardhan Hill. The gopis dressed up nicely and sat in bullock carts, chanting about the wonderful things Krishna did. The monks gave their blessings to the cowherd men and their wives and the gopis, the cowherd ladies. Then, in front of everyone, Krishna turned himself into a huge and wonderful form. He said, "I am Govardhan Hill," and he began to eat all the food that had been offered there. When Lord Indra saw this special ceremony was stopped by Krishna, he became very angry. Indra called the terrible Samvartika cloud and ordered, "Go to Vrindavan and cover everything in floods. I will also go riding on my elephant along with the great storms, and I shall use all my strength to punish the people of Vrindavan." Ordered by King Indra, all the dangerous clouds went over Vrindavan and began to pour water with all their strength and power. There were constant thunder and lightning, severe winds and rains. Every man and animal in Vrindavan was shaking with cold and went to Krishna to take shelter. Little Krishna then picked up Govardhan Hill with one hand, exactly as a child picks up a mushroom from the ground, and said, "My dear brothers, my dear father, my dear friends, now come under the umbrella of Govardhan Hill, which I have just lifted. Do not be afraid that the hill will fall from my hand." Everyone and their animals stayed there for 1 week without feeling hungry or thirsty. They were simply amazed to see how Krishna held up the entire mountain with the little finger of his left hand. Since then, Krishna has been known as the lifter of Govardhan Hill. Seeing the wonderful power of Krishna, Indra, the king of heavens, called for all the clouds and asked them to stop. There was sunshine again, and the strong winds stopped. Krishna said, "My dear friends, now you can leave and take your families and cows and things back to your homes, because the danger is now ended. The floods are now finished." After they had cleared out everything, Lord Krishna would slowly put Govardhan Hill back down where it belonged. Then, going with his dear friends and animals, he went back to his own home. Indra, the king of heaven, understood now that he had behaved very badly. Slowly and very humbly, he came before Krishna and said how sorry he was. With folded hands, he prayed, "My dear Lord, I was so proud that I thought you were taking my share of the offerings away. Now, by your grace, I understand that you are the supreme. You are the supreme Lord. Therefore, my Lord, please forgive me and bless me so that I do not act so foolishly again." Lord Krishna smiled and said, "My dear Indra, I have only stopped your sacrifice to show that I am always your master. You should always remember that everything you have is coming from me. Everyone should always remember that I am the Supreme Lord." After this, King Indra and the demigods and the Surabhi cows worshipped Lord Krishna. They bathed him with Ganges water and milk from the Surabhi cows, which gave them anything that they wished for. Everyone sang and danced, and the demigods poured showers of flowers from the sky. The cows flooded the ground with their milk, and the rivers watered the trees, making nice fruits and flowers of different colours and tastes and smells. The trees poured drops of honey, and the hills and mountains gave nice plants and jewels. Because Krishna, all these things happened very nicely. Respectfully, King Indra went back to his heavenly kingdom along with all the kinds of demigods through outer space. So Hindus take these stories as meaningful, as Krishna, God, is offering his shelter, especially when times are very difficult. And this is another aspect to Diwali. I thought I'd share with you a bhajan, a devotional song that is sung in a part of India where Krishna raised Govardhan Hill on his little finger in the story, and the place is called Vrindavan, and they sing this song in the villages of Vrindavan for thousands and thousands of years. It's a simple song, but I'll share it with you. Jayananda Yasoda Divan Girivardhari Gopal Jayananda Yasoda Divan Girivardhari Gopal 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 Gopal, 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 Jayananda Yasoda Dula, Girivardhari Gopal, Jayananda Yasoda Dula, Girivardhari Gopal, 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 Girivardhari Gopal. Jai Gopal. So I hope you found that interesting, and I hope to see you all soon.